This video will create a simple Firebase application, so where we can insert the data into the real-time database of the Firebase. So I've created this new project called Firebase CRUD. So it will just open this main activity, and we're having this app. So first of all, before building the app, uh, so since we are using the Firebase, you need to have a Firebase account. So for that, just go to the Chrome, and so here you can go to this firebase.google.com. So in this you can click on or you can just sign in using your Google Gmail account. So yeah, so first of all you need to make that. So after creating the account, uh, one more thing you need to do here is you have to sign in using the same account here also. Like in the Android Studio, you are getting an account sign in option here. So you have to use the same Gmail account for login into the Android Studio as well. So after those two steps, so first we'll connect this normal Hello World app to our Firebase. So for that, you can just go to this tools over here, and in this you can go to the Firebase. So here you will get these options. So in this you will get the Firebase. So now we are using the real-time database. So click on this real-time database, and here you can click on this get started with the real-time database. So once you have done that, so you will get options like this. So here you can go according to the steps. So first step is connecting your app to Firebase. So click on this connect to Firebase. So it will open this. You click on this connect to Firebase. So it will open this Chrome account. So here you can see that. So this is the same account which I have logged in over here. So in this, so it will say like connect your Android app, choose an existing project or create a new one. So I will click on this add project. So here you can see automatically the name of the application will be shown over here, and if you click on continue, so you will get this analytics. So for time being you can turn it off, so it's not needed, and then you can just click on create project. So once the project has been created, so here, so this thing will go, and here you can see a completed mark over here. So let's wait until this project gets finished. So now our project is completed, so you can click on continue, and it will take you to this project page. So in this, so here you have to uh, so here you will get something. So and here you will get this prompt, and here you have to click on this connect. So once you have connected, so it will show that your Android Studio project is connected. So if you now go to your Android Studio, so here you can see, so all the things you have, so this app has been connected, and here you can see this connected mark. Okay, so now we are done with this the first step. So second, now the next thing that we have to do is, so we have to insert, we have to create a database in the Firebase console, and then we have to insert the data into it. So for that, what you can do is, so here you can see add the real-time database to your app. So just click on add the real-time database. So means you need a place where you need to store the records, right? So that's the database which you need to create. So you have to click on this add to real-time database, and here you will get this prompt. So here you can see some of the dependencies which will be installed automatically when you click on this accept changes. So click on that accept changes, and wait until the process gets completed. So here basically all these things are getting downloaded. So once it is downloaded, so then automatically your you can just insert the data into the Firebase. Once the Gradle sync and all the dependencies have been installed, so you can just go to this Gradle script. So in this you can go to the second one, that is module build Gradle. So here in the dependency section you can see so here you can see like there has been Firebase which has been added over here, and so that was automatically done by this. Next, so now we have configured our app, that we have connected our app to the Firebase. So now what you can do is, so in order to see whether all the things have been working properly, so you can just run your app before proceeding further. Okay, so now once the app has been properly installed, now before inserting any of the records into the Firebase, so let's first understand like how data will be actually stored onto the Firebase. So let's okay. So here in the Firebase, okay. So before this, just go to the Firebase Firebase console. So in this, so you can see your application. This is my application. So if you click on this, so it will take you to the project page. So in this we need a real-time database, so just click on the real-time database, and so here just click on create a database and let it be this, and click on next. So in the security role, click on start in the test mode. So now we are simply building the trial app, right? So that's why we need not have any of the security over here. So security in the sense no one can read or write other than you. So just start in the test mode and then enable. So it will create a real-time database, so where you can insert the records. Real-time in the sense, you like whenever you insert any data, so you need not even refresh this page in order to see the changes over here. So you will understand it once we will insert some records into it. Okay, so once the database has been created, so you can see some page like this, and in here you can see structure like this. So let me first explain like what does this mean. So here, so in the Firebase, so everything is basically node in the sense. So this is a, so consider this as a node. So this node will be having two fields. So one is the key, and one more thing is the value. So every node will be having the two fields, so just like our linked list. So there will be a place where it will store the data, and one more place where it will store the reference to the next node. So similar thing in the Firebase also. So there is a key and there is a value. So the thing that you see over here is basically, so this is the key, like this is the reference, like this is something like the initial root node, and this is the value which is null. So now what you can do is, so in the null value, so you can store the reference to the next node. This is considered as the root node, and in here what I can do is I can just copy this, and so this will be another node, the second node, so which can be considered as the child node, so which is basically linked to this. So similarly this node will also have the value which is different to it, and but this in this value, so the reference of this child node will be stored in the root. So that's the general concept. So if I create a I'll group this, and if I create a new node, one more node like this, so what I can do is, so here I am having these two nodes. So both of these nodes references are stored in this. So this will basically, these two nodes, these two child nodes are under this node. So and this node is under this root node. So it's like the basically a tree structure. Okay, so to understand it in a better way, so just go to this Firebase. So here you can see, so this, consider this as a root node, and if you click on this plus icon, so you will get something like this. So it will create this new node. So in this I want to create a new node called as student. Okay, so in this value I will store multiple records into it. So I need to store name, roll number, marks, course, and all those. So I cannot put it in one single place like this. That's why I'm creating a new node for each of those fields. So I'll just click on this add child. So now we can see there is this student node. So in that student node there is, I'll create something like this S101. So this acts like a roll number, a unique key which will identify the one particular student. Okay, so under this node I will store name, uh, his course, marks, and all this. So again I'll click on this plus. This will add a child node. So here what I'll do is I'll name, and then I'll give it as ABC, right? So then once again I'll click on this, I'll make it as course. I'll give computer science, and then now here if I want to add one more, like marks, so that thing also you can add, right? So now what has happened over here is, so there is this student database. So inside the student, so there is one more field called as roll number, so which is storing values for each of the student. So it's having name, marks, and codes. So if I want to add one more node, what I can do is, so I want to add that under student, right? So I want to add one more field under student. So I'll click on this child. So it will basically add this into here, over here. I'll make it as 102. So I've created this new student. Now what I want is, under this 1 or 2 I need to create these three fields. So I'll click on this add over here. Again I'll give the name, give it as name. I'll name it as this. So again I need to add course. Again I need to add marks. Okay, so this is like the basic structure. So this is the root, and inside this root there is this student database. So inside this there are various other students. So that's how Firebase works. So once the root node, and under this there are several child nodes. So this structure you have to understand properly, so before inserting or fetching any value from the database. Okay, so now let's insert some record into the Firebase. Okay, for that what you need to do is, so first of all, now in order to insert any of the data over here, let me clear this. So okay, so now, so this is the blank application. So now I want to insert data. So first of all, let's try to remove this null and insert some data into here. Okay, so now what you want is, so in order to insert any of the data, so you need to take the, you need its key. So when you get the key, so you can just insert a value over there. Okay, so for that, so this is the key, and so here you need to insert some value, so first of all, now you need to, so here you can see, so you have to do this step. So that is, you have to do something like firebase dot get instance. So what does this mean is, so let me just write it over here. So you have to do something like firebase. So you get this firebase database dot get instance. So what this line will do is, so it will basically get the instance, in the sense, so you have connected your app to this Firebase project, right? So it will basically get an object of all, get an object of this project project, so that you can use this project, you can use this object later. So you have to first of all get a object of this project, so that's why you are doing firebase.get instance. So then you are storing it in the your object which you have created. So you will create a new object called as db. So now what does this line do is, so it will create an instance. So basically it will get an object and it will assign it to this db variable which you have created. So after this, so now you have got this entire project. So in this you need to refer to this value. So this is nothing but the root value, right? So in order to refer to that value, what you can do is you can take the instance of the db object which you have, right? So in this you can do something like get reference. Okay, so in the get reference, so get reference is basically something like you are getting the reference, in the sense you are getting the address of this thing. So now since so if you are not passing any parameters in this so in this function, it is in the get reference, so it will automatically consider it as the root node. So now your root node is basically this, right? So this is your root node. There are no more child nodes into it. So that's why you are since you are not passing anything, so it will automatically consider the root node. So when you do this, so you'll get the reference of the root node. So that thing you have to store it in the reference. So it will be of the type database reference. I'll store it as my reference. So now in the my reference, you are getting there is the so it considers the address of the root node. So this is your root node, so it will be having that. So now using this my reference, I can change the value. So basically that acts as a key. So I can take my ref and I can do something like set value. So set value will generally take an object. So now just I'll pass a string object, or I'll make it as Firebase. Okay, so now this is done. So my reference dot set value will set the value to Firebase. Okay, so now let's run this app and see. Okay, so now once the app has been installed onto your phone, you can just go to your Firebase, and here you can see the value of this thing has been set to Firebase. So this thing has been automatically done. So now if I change this to Android, and if I again click on run the app, so once the app has been installed in the phone, so you can automatically see its value being changed to Android. Uh, so now the app has been installed, so here you can see, so it has been changed to Android. So this is like, so that's the real-time property, so that without even refreshing this page, so you can automatically see the data are being updated. So that's nothing but real time. So yeah, so now this was inserting a simple text value into the root node. So now let's insert a new node into this into the root, and let's see like how it works. Okay, so now what I'll do is, so I'll go to the Firebase console. So here I'll just delete this. Okay, make it as null. Okay, so here first of all I'll just make a default structure. Here I'll add a new node. Okay, so here I'll just add a new node. So basically I'll create a normal structure. I'll create the same thing, that is I'll create a student. So inside the student, so there is the roll number 101, and inside this thing I'll have a name. Inside this I'll have a course. Inside this okay, so only two fields are enough. Now, so this is the default structure of a, so you can consider this as a student table. So in that there are these many rows. This is the first student and it's having name and course as its attributes. Okay, so now let's see how we can further build on this. So I'll remove this. Now here what I want is, so now instead of the data getting inserted in the root node, I want the data to be inserted into the after student node. So basically it's something like I need, so you can see the student. So in the student I'm having S01, having the student. So inside this I'm having 101. So in the student itself I want to add a new data, new not in 10. So here in this thing I want to add 102. So inside this I want to add a name. Inside this I want to add a course. Right, so I want to do something like this. So here you can see, so this structure is like this. So it's not in the root node, so it's a separate, it's in this student node, student child node. So inside this there are these things, 101 and 102. I want to do something like that, right? So here what I'll do is, so this will be same. So we're getting the instance, so entire thing. But now your reference should be not the root node, so your reference should be the student node. So here what I'll do is, so inside this get reference I'll pass the parameter as student. So now it will consider as the, so I need a reference of the student node, so I will get address of this thing. So once this thing is done, now you can see, so it will be having this object, right? So it's having two things, that is course and name. So I cannot directly insert values into that. So first I need to create an object, and then that object I need to pass into the Firebase. So for doing that, for creating the objects and inserting the values, so what I'll do is, so first of all let's create an interface so where user can enter these fields. So let me just minimize this, and I'll remove this code. Okay, so in the design, so let's add two plain text where user can enter name and course. So there are three fields, so like you also need the roll number, so I'll add three text fields, and then the button. So now let's add constraints to this. Okay, so after adding the constraint, so let's change the ID. So first field I limit as roll number. Then this thing I name it as student name. So this thing I name it as course name. After this button I will give it as insert button. Okay, so after doing this, let's go to the code, and in here let us change this to hint. So it's nothing but roll number. So it's name, then course. Okay, so after doing this thing, then let's go to the main activity, and here we'll create references to this. So I created the edit text. So there is a roll number, then there is name, and then there is course, and then there is button. Import these things. Alt enter into class. Okay, so after doing this, so let's here find by id. Getting the roll number, get the student name, then here on course name, and then we need the button, insert button. Okay, so this was roll number, name, then you have course, then you are having insert button. Okay, so now once these things are done, so let's go here, and what I want is, like, on click of the insert button, all the fields should get entered, right? So first of all, now see, so now you are having a different fields, like uh, name. You are having these three fields, right? It's name, roll number, and all those. So first of all, like, let's okay, so I guess the placeholders are wrong. Okay, so this is the post name, so this is student name, and this is the roll number. This is okay. So now, so since there are these many objects, I mean these many three values, so you should pass them all at once, right? So first of all, you need to create the objects. Now to create the object, so you need a class. So instead of doing those things in the main activity, what we'll do is, so we'll create a new class called as model class, or the data model class in the Java. So just go to the Java, and in here right click, and then new Java class. So here you can give the name as data model. So it will create this new class. Okay, so in here you need to have these three field values. So just name those values. So I need a roll number, string roll number, then I need a student name, then I need a course name. Okay, so these three things you have. So once after finishing declaring these three things, you can just right click, and in here you can go to generate. Right, so in this generate you can click on the generate a constructor. So now just select all these three fields by control and then select all these three fields, click on OK. So now you can see automatically a constructor has been generated. So this is the data model constructor. So in this it will take these three field values, so which user will enter, and those three things are assigned to this variables. So and this will basically return you the object, so which you can use. So now this thing has been done. Now you cannot so now since you are using the Firebase, you cannot, so you need a function or you need some methods like to insert the data or to retrieve the data, right? So for retrieving the data, so again what you can do is just right click, and here you can go to the generate, and here you can do getters and setters. Go to the getter and setter, and again just select all these three fields and click on OK. So here you can see automatically these functions have been generated. So these are nothing but getters, like get the values of the roll number. So when you call this function get roll number, so it will automatically return you the roll number value. Then set the roll number, it will take this roll number as its field and it will assign it to the roll number. So similarly all the course and the name. So these things are done in the data model class. Data model in the sense, so it will basically assign values to your data. Okay, so now once you have that object, once you have this class, you can create objects for this class and you can initialize the value, right? So now user will enter the value into these fields, right? So these values you need to get these values and you have to pass it to the objects. So for that what you can do is, so create object for that class. I want to create objects of this data model, so I'll create something like student object, which is equals to new data model. So now we can see data model is basically a constructor. So this will take these three parameters, that is number, roll number, name and course name. Okay, so like from where you are getting this value, so these things are entered by the users. So when these values which should be fetched, so whenever you click on this insert button, so these values need to be fetched, right? For that what you will do is, so let it be here. So I'll just comment this. So once you click on this field, so once you click on the insert button, your value should be inserted, right? So you need to fetch the value and then you have to insert. So you have this insert buttons reference over here. Do insert button dot add a listener onto it, set on click listener. So inside this you should pass something like new wave. So here once you click on enter, you will get this method like on click. What you have to do, so on click what should happen is you need to fetch the values from those fields and you need to assign it to some value. So you need to take the roll number field which you have, dot, you need to do get text, then convert it to the string. So now assign it to a new some temporary variable called as r number. Similarly you need to do the same thing for name and other things. So I'll create something called as s name. I'll take the student, I'll take the name dot get text dot to string. Similarly I'll do it for course also. course dot get text. Okay, wait. So I'll name it as cname course dot get text dot post. Right. So now you have these values which are entered by the users. So this thing you can pass it to the constructor. So I'll take this and I'll paste it here. Remove the comment. So I have created the student object. So inside this thing I need to pass three fields, that is roll number, then the name, and then the course value. Sorry, CNAME. Okay, so now you have the object by passing these values. So now these three values have been entered to the user. So it will go here and it will return you the student object. Okay, so now you are having the student object which consists all the values. Right. So now you need to insert it into the student table. Right. So now how you will insert the value. So here you can see there is this roll number S102, all this. So basically this thing will act as a key. So inside this there are several other values. So these values, name and course name and name of the student. So basically, so this is your key. So the roll number is your key. So now you are having my reference object. So previously what you used to do, you used to do something like myref. So myref, you will be getting the root node and directly you are inserting myref dot set value. But here you are using the child node, right? So that's why child node you need to specify that. So I'll take the myref, and inside this there is something called as child. Okay, so now which thing you are using? So you are using roll number as the key, right? So that's why just pass in roll number as your child node. So it will create a new child. Okay, so inside this child node you need to set the values of name and course name and student name. So after this you can just click on dot, then you can set value. So inside the set value you can pass in the object. So which object you can pass? You can pass the student object. Okay, so but yeah, so here so since you are having only two things, so roll number is the key which you are referencing, and you are having course and course name and student name. But in here you are passing in the three things, right? Three objects. So that's why here in the constructor, what you can do is you can just remove this roll number from here. Okay, and in here also you can just remove this. Right, so you can do this. So basically what it will do is, so it will just keep in the student name and course name, and roll number will be used as a key. Okay, so now after doing this much, so now okay, so now you have created the child called roll number. So inside that you are passing in the student object. So student object inside what only two things are there, student name and the course name. Okay, so now let's run this app and see. Okay, so now I have installed the app, so you can see these fields. So let me enter something. I'll enter 101 name, and then code segregators. Okay, so after this, let me click on the insert. So now if I go to the Firebase, so here you can see the student table has been created. So inside this there is 101 with CSE and ADC. Right. So after this, let me just change it to 102, and then this is ME, and let me just bring that Firebase over here. Click on insert. So you can see automatically. So like without even refreshing, so you can see the data being updated onto the screen, onto the database Firebase. So Yeah, so here you can see all the things have been added, so and it's in this structured format. There is this root node. Inside this there is one more child node called a student. So inside this there are several child nodes called as one child nodes which are referenced with their roll number. Inside this there is course name and student name. So yeah, so this was basically the insertion of the records into the database. So next we'll see like how to update, delete, and yeah, so update, delete, and view the data from the Firebase database.